Hello everyone, I'm your host Benjamin, and I especially welcome you to another exciting video tutorial lessons with BlabenSolutions. So in today's lesson, I will take you guys on a step-by-step process on how to design this amazing social media food advertisement poster. But before we kickstart with this video, if this is your first time in here, this is BlabenSolutions, and I offer a step-by-step process on your favorite design. So if you think this sounds amazing, why don't you consider smashing the subscribe button and turn the bell icon to all so as you don't miss any of my future uploads. So having nothing more to say, why don't you join me in the studios of Adobe Photoshop and let's start making beautiful design works. Alright, so welcome back guys. In front of you are the resource files that I'll be using for the design process. These images were downloaded from Google. I'll make them available in the description, so make sure to check the description below. There will be a link there for you to download the resource files and follow along as I design. So now the first thing we need to do is to work on our canvas, or let me say our dimensions. So since this will be posted on social media, I intend creating a square size. Okay, so I'm just going to make this 8 by 8 inches, and maybe with the resolution I'm going to decrease this to about, let me say, 150, and the RGB color mode is okay, and we rename this to something like food poster. So if we are done in here, let's click on create. So this in front of you is the working area, we call it canvas. So the first thing we'll be doing is to work on the background design, and to do that I have this color that I'd want to add. So let's come to this side, create new fill, and let's create a solid fill. So choose solid color, and I have this hexa code that I want to paste. The code is 851507. Alright, so click on OK. We are done, and we are going to create a new layer on top of this solid color that we just created. Head on to your tools panel and choose the brush tool. Use the square bracket on your keyboard key, so the close square bracket on the keyboard key, to increase the size of the brush tool. Okay, and in here I'm going to select this color that I have in here this way, and the hexa code is CC4D16. Well, we can actually make it a bit lighter. So let me see, then click on OK. I'm just going to click a portion here this way, so just get it done this way, and that is it. So let's hit on our move tool to get our selection back on for us. So that is it. There's one last thing I need to do for the background. I have this image that I want to watermark it onto the background. So come onto our resource files that we have in here. So let's quickly drag this image, okay, onto Photoshop canvas, and I'm going to use this as the background image. So I'm just going to drag this like this, and I'm going to push it up, and I'm going to come to the color mode and choose a blend that best fits what I want, and if I get it, I think that will be it. So I think overlay works, soft light also works, so let's choose overlay, and I'm going to add a vector max to it so that I can brush a portion off, and I just need a portion, the kinky part. I don't need the I don't need this part, I only need this part. So with my brush tool selected, click on the brush tool and make sure your the vector max part is selected in here. Okay, let's reduce the size of the brush tool using the square box bracket, and now let's mind you, make sure the foreground color is set to black, okay, before you can get this portion to hide it. If your foreground color is set to a different color, just press the D key on your keyboard to get the default colors, that's black and white. And to switch between the black and the white, make sure to press the X key on your keyboard, and therefore we have the foreground set to black. And now you can then wipe this portion off. Now what I just said, if you don't get any part of it, just don't worry. I have a full video teaching you guys about how to properly align or properly set your layer mask or work with the vector mask. So I will leave a link to that video in the description below for you to get your hands on it. So let's still go ahead and wipe this portion, okay? And I'm going to reduce the size of the image. It's too big. So let's go on and select our brush tool once more, and let's wipe that portion, this portion. I don't need this portion. So that is it. This should work. And I'm going to reduce the opacity of this image to, let's say, 34. So you can choose or decide wherever you want to shift the radial of the opacity bar to. Okay, so I'm going to leave this in here, and that is it for the background. We are done with the background. So I'm going to select all layers in the layers panel, and I'm going to link them together, and I'm going to group them together. Okay, so I'm going to lock them so I don't mistakenly shift something off guard. Now the other part, or the second thing that I'll be doing, is to work on the images that I'll be bringing on board. As in we need to showcase some images to entice the public to also come and purchase the food. So I'm going to be creating some shapes that I'll clip mask the images on top of. So let me quickly create the shapes with my with my rectangle tool, and I'll get back to you guys. So in my tools panel, I'm going to be selecting this, or the shortcut key is U, and I'm going to be selecting the rectangle tool, and I'll be creating the shapes that I'll be placing the food on. So get back to you soon. Alright guys, so welcome back. So these are the shapes that I'll be clip masking the food images on top of, and I'll be adding a stroke of white to these images as well. So with this, to the borders of these shapes as well. So quickly let me do the first three clip masking of the image, and I leave the rest to you for you guys to do that. So to do that, I'm going to select the shape that I want to clip mask the image on. So I'm selected this shape, okay, and I'll just head on to the resource panel, and I'm just going to pick one of the images, this one in particular, and I'm going to drag it onto Photoshop, and I'm going to place it here this way. Now the size is big enough, so I'm going to scale this to get the size that I so want, and I'll be shifting it here and hit enter to get rid of the transform option. Now in here, back in our layers panel, I'm just going to right click on the layer, the food image layer, and there is a portion here, or there is a button here that says create clipping mask. Then you just click on create clipping mask, and then there you have it. We have this image clip mask to the shape for you. Now I'm going to resize this so that I make sure I get a full glimpse of the food image that we have in here, and I'm going to be adding a border stroke of white to this shape as well. So after with selecting the shape layer, I'm going to come to add layer style and click on stroke in here. Then this is already white. This should be outside, or maybe we can play. Let's try the inside and see if this works. Okay, I think the inside works. Let me make it 10, and let's see, 10 is too big, so let's make it 8. 8 is too big. Let's leave it to 5. Okay, and that is it. let me just hit on OK. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just copy the layer style of this. Right click on the layer and go and say copy layer style, so that I can paste it on top of each of the shapes and still get my strokes on all of them, right? So I'm going to do the image clipping, as in the clip masking of the images on top of these two shapes, and I'm going to leave the rest for you guys to also practice. Okay, so quickly let me do that. Select the shape that you want to clip mask the image onto. Just head on here and select the image you want to clip mask onto the shape this way, and just drag it onto Photoshop, and there you have it. I'm just going to be placing this guy over here this way. Just say OK, right click on the food image layer and say create clipping mask. Let's transform this back so that we can get the entire food in view. Okay, and what I'm going to do next is to select the shape, right click on it and say paste layer style. Remember, we've already copied the layer style, so just paste the layer style and we have the stroke appearing on it. Okay, that's it. And let me do that for the third image as well. We have this image. Which one should we pick? I think this one will work. Alright guys, welcome back. So now that we are done creating our image grid, what we are going to be doing next is to link all the images together so we don't accidentally drag one of them out of the gear. To do that, I'm going to select all these layers, select the first layer and move on to the last layer and hold your shift key and select the last layer. Click on the link and let's group this, rename this to images. Now what I will be doing next is I'm going to create a border box around this. Okay, a transparent border box. So I just need the border, I don't need a fill color of it, so I'm just going to do this way, and let's turn off the fill, and with the outline let's make it white, and let's change this to a straight line, not a dotted line, and probably make this 5. Okay, so that is it, and let's select our move to, and I'm going to select the rectangle box and the image grouped image layer, and I'm going to come to the alignment portion here and just make sure I align them properly. Okay, and better still, let me link this to you guys and group them back again, and name this grid images. So now I can easily shift this guys. Oh, this guy didn't go along. What happened? Okay, so there you have it. Let me Control T and properly place this guy over here this way. Now the next thing I'll be doing is to bring or list out the services that they provide. Okay, so I'm going to be using a rounded rectangle tool and just draw something this way, and I'll be needing a color of white for now, sorry, and sorry about that. Let's drag this portion to get our rounded portion. Select the move tool and let me align this to the center of these two images, and what I'll be doing is I'm just going to be adding a glow effect to this guy, just to, you know, it's just there to make it beautiful. So I'm just going to come to add layer style and choose inner glow. It's an outer glow rather, not an inner glow. So let's do an outer glow of this same color, and let's increase the size, and that is it. And probably we might want to reduce, as in change the what do you call it, the color of this fill. So let me double click this inside this way, and let's choose a fill color that is that might best work in here. So that is it. And with my outer glow, I think the color is too bright, and so let me choose something darker a bit. Let's see if this works. Oh, I think this looks perfect. Good. And with the grid images, the foot grid images is too big, so let me transform this and scale this to a smaller size, you know, and we can put this guy over here this way. Okay, hit enter, and we can shift this guy in here. So what I'll be doing is to head on to the resource part and move on and bring my logo. This is a logo, so I'm just going to bring this guy over here and place him here. Okay, then I can just go ahead and list out the services that they provide. So quickly I'm going to do that, and I'll get back to you guys shortly. Alright guys, welcome back. So I'm done inputting the services that they offer, so you can see them in here, and there is a delivery also available at a fee, and I had this motorcade icon as well. And the last but not the least thing I would want to do is to bring in the contact details. Okay, so I'm going to be typing the contact, but before I type the contact of this amazing social media food advertisement poster, what the font I used in here, the name of this font is Loaster Master, and this is just Poppins. Okay, and I'll try my best to leave a link to those fonts in the description as well, so do well to check the description for any resource file that you might need. Okay, so back to our contact. So in here I'm going to be using a font Gotham Gotham Ultra. Sorry, I think I made a wrong selection. So what I'll be doing is, let me type the contact. So quickly, so we're gonna change this color to white, and we're gonna change this to Gotham Ultra. So let's uncheck the bold part of this, and with my leading I'm going to set this to a negative number, so I get the, so let me just set this to, okay, not a negative number but something, you know. Okay, so I think this is okay. 46 is okay by me, and I'm just going to reduce the size. This is too big, so I'm going to reduce the size to fit in here, so this way. And I'll just type something on top. So let me duplicate this guy over here and send him here, and I'm gonna say call. So I'll be leaving this in caps, sorry, and the font color will be something like this. The size is too big for it, so there you go. We can then we can nicely place this guy over here. All right, and I have one last thing to bring on board, which is the image of the pepper. So let me paste this guy over here. This is so big, so let's Control T to transform this, and let's push him here this way, and let's see if applying a shadow to it works. So let's come to our add layer style. Let's drop a shadow, and okay, I think this is okay. So I'm just going to duplicate it, hold the Alt key and click and drag this guy over here. And we might want to select the entire design element that we just did in here, excluding the pepper images. So I'm just going to hold the pepper images and exclude them from the selection. Okay, so let me just drag these guys to the bottom. So sorry, I think I took them too much. Okay, so this should be here, and I'm just going to select everything that I have in here. So just go on and so let me group this, guys. Let me group this. Items. I'm just doing this to properly align this item onto the Control J as well. And now I think I can do the alignment and see if it works. So we can now align this so that we get a balance of what we just did. Okay, previously it was this way, and we could see that everything was off balance, but now that we did the alignment properly, we have everything balanced in here for us. And guys, this brings us to the end of today's video tutorial. I believe you've learned something in here. If you did, make sure to drop your thoughts in the comment box below. Let us also know how best we can achieve this design as well. Please make sure to leave a like on this video as well. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you've not yet subscribed. And until then, see you guys, and don't stop creating.